Recording in progress.
So good evening, everyone. Today we continue our discussions. So we had two application cases. One point was Silveris, and the second one was Siemens. So you hopefully you have read the application case. So about Silveris is an e-commerce company in the lumber and like building materials. So one of the issues that they have, the lumber prices changing so quickly. Also, there's so many other online concerns like transportation. So they needed a platform they can analyze their business online, and they could make efficient decision quickly. So I'm not sure if you're in the building materials market, but last year we have a lot of fluctuations. So for this one, Silveris employed Tableau because Tableau lets them let them to have a online dashboard that they can look over markets price changes quickly and in the online format, so they could make more efficient decisions. So what does it mean? You would Tableau let you to first make a dashboard, and on top of that, you can take care of your business in the just-in-time format, so you can make very quick decisions. So the second application case was about Siemens. It's a very large company. They have so many sections, and on top of that, they are taking care of so many informations, including customer satisfactions. So they have so many subsections, and this is a very large institution or company. So Dundance BI let them to have a dashboard, but this time dashboard helped them to look over so many subsections. They could organize current businesses and with the Dundance BI in very efficient way, but they already have their own system. They just wanted to synchronize with the new system and being able to take care of so many sections. So again, Dundance BI let them to have such a dashboard. So dashboard has two applications. One, you take care of online transaction and your situation, your current situation. The second application, you have so many subsections that you can take care of it. It's something like car dashboard. So in one section, you see the like engine speed, another one car speed, and you have like one section engine temperature. So you have so many sections. So if you see some issues in some, let's say your engine temperature is too high or like your oil is too low, you shouldn't run, you should make a decision. So dashboard, this is another application of dashboard that you see if you can look at so many sections, and if in case of any issues, you make decisions. So you guys could hear me, right? Even okay. Any questions from previous class or any other things? Okay, in the previous class, we wanted to have a feeling of Tableau. So, and you see, it's not actually difficult. I think it's even easier than Excel. You just need to use to it. So the way that you learn Tableau is through exposure. So later at the end of this class, I tell you some free resources, and you can just expose yourself to those free resources, and you can get some certificates. One of your friends, Arjun is here, right? Yeah. So Arjun is now is working in a company through an internship. So I assume you're an international student, right? So is it you should be your third or fourth semester? Yes. Yeah. It's your third, right? Okay. So yeah, I mean, getting internship is really good. You can build up your resume. Later, you can get full-time job from very good companies. I think I advertised my younger brother, but my younger brother is similar to Arjun. So he started from a small company as an intern. Then he got the mid-sized company. Now he's working Apple. So it's the steps that if you take sooner, you get advantage of them sooner. So he already knew Tableau, and he exposed himself to some challenges. One of the challenges he had is about the figure that he posted. So it's about stacked bar chart, and he wants to just change the order of those things. So I haven't seen anyone answer this question. So if he posted a question, so he get a bonus, but nobody answered him, so you guys don't get any bonus. If, anyone could answer him, I mean, or figure out any solution, even people over Zoom. Let me, if I find his question through Telegram. Okay, so it's his question. So he made a stacked bar chart. So as you see, if you remember in Tableau, each column is some numerical thing. And in the rows, he has some categories. And also he used some numerical thing to just make some changes in colors or another category. So his question is, you want to change the order of others, right? Instead of being that should be somewhere else, right? Okay. Let's see if I'm recording. Yes, I'm recording. So I don't have his data. He's working in a company. I couldn't ask him to give me his own company's data. But let's do something similar. So for columns, I put sales. It's something numeric. So sales for columns. For row, maybe just category. Let's say product category. And you also need to change color in the middle. So you know that if I drag and drop anything in the marks, it would change whatever you see in the middle. So let's say region. So it divided, but we want to change the colors. So instead of dots here, I change it to color. Nice, something similar to what you had, right? So for this purpose, you know, I have legend in top right. I go here, select sort. So it could be the alphabetic field or manual. I think for you is more manual because I'm not sure you might have. So now west is the last, center is the first. Everything is ordered alphabetically. Let's say I want to put west in the second order, maybe central in the third, east in the last. That's it. So again, I post a video later so you can watch it, but so I want to change the order of things here. Here, sort, and you can, based on field data or manual, I think manual is better because for your case, you can just change, select, and then you have some arrow keys just sending up and down.
And also, I want to sort second step, you know, supplies. This is.
You want to sort them? Yeah. Oh. Just make it larger. let's say, I haven't looked at it before, so let me see if we can. Okay. Data source. So as you see, we have two orders here, either data source or alphabetic. So yeah, do you see? I'm clicking. So I take my mouse on the here. If it's alphabetic, if I click, you know, so it's changing the order. So here it seems there is no manual, either alphabetic or based on data source. Yeah, I think here you don't have any manual thing. Or let's say, sort. Yeah, even we have manual here. So yeah, so you see? So for the category, so you want to change it this one. If you change it here, it just either based on the data source or alphabetic. So take your mouse in the product key here. You see that now you see a triangle. Click on it.
If you see an office supplies,
Sort.
office supplies,
So I want now put in the
that is more than the stuff, right? So I want to sort that category.
Yes, so I told you. So office supplies is the first one. If I change it manually, I put it in the second one. So now it's not, it's just manual order. So you can either do manual order on the access or on the color.
Not inside the stack bar chart.
Inside the stack one is through this one. So do you get the point? So you either change the access or inside each bar. For inside, you change from here, you go to sort. You know, if you want to change this one, just change the sort in the this axis.
Can you customize the region individually for each product? Does the region stay?
So, you know, for those, I mean, so I think there's two ways of sorting. I'm not sure what is your question. So if I don't know question, so you can either alphabetically or like manually or based on data sources. So ascending, descending. So these are the things that you can do. So you see, I at the same time I can change the category and also change the region. So, but anyway, for this is like a software for making quick visualizations. Maybe you want to look over very specific visualization. For those ones, you should do scripting like Python or R. So that one gives you more flexibility. So if your flexibility is much more than, or you want to look over very specific figures, usually it's through script languages. So, but I think hopefully I answered your questions. Anyway, my knowledge also is limited. So let's say you are in the future, you have issues, you are more than welcome to ask me, but these are what I recommend if maybe it's out of my knowledge for some cases. So you either solve it by try and error. You can ask your friends, either like in person or to social media, or Stack Overflow also is a really good resource. So let me go to a Stack Overflow website. So you can sign in. As you see, I ask some questions. So I had asked 6 questions, some of them answered. So If you have some specific questions, you know, I asked this question over Stack Overflow and somebody answered me, and it's like a green tick, just means it's answered properly. Or you can just Google it. For his question, I couldn't find through Google, so I couldn't show it, but maybe there is some general questions that you can find through Google. Having said that, for one of your project deliverables, you need to submit a literature review. These are the general ways that you can do literature review. One is through Google Scholar. I think it's the most famous one. Also, you can go over Clark Library. So let me show it to you. Let me search for Visual Analytics. So you should sign in. I think I don't need this since I'm in the campus. Yeah. So for some resources I have are available, like this one. Some of them may not be available. So let me just click on it. This is available. So let me see if I can find something that is not available. Okay, do you see? Let's see if I have access to this one. It seems today everything is available, but let's see. Okay, this one is not available, right? I don't see any PDF sign. So you can request on Intel Library Loan. So, you know, after clicking on that platform, where is that? Request on library loan. So you put the Clark username and password, you enter. So as this is already filled, sometimes you have to fill by yourself, but here I was lucky, everything is there. So I submit a request. Then, so what happened for this paper, it was not available through Clark, but there is some other universities may have access to that PDF. So universities sent a request to them and said, if they have it, they send it back. So later you can come here, go to articles. No, go to, where's that? View author standing request. Or request, like this somewhere. Yeah, somewhere here, you can find your PDF file. Sometimes they email you, so you can come and download your article. So let's see, history. So I go to electronically received articles, then click on it, and I can see the paper. Actually, it's my own, even my own paper was not available for downloading. So I requested through ILLiad or Intel Loan Library System. After that, I went to electronically received articles and be able to download the PDF. Okay, so keep in mind that your second deliverable, I think you have almost 2 months, but for some, you need to do some literature review. These are the ways that you can get an article included in your report. Mm-hmm. Your final project? Yeah, why not? So these are, I mean, you have 2 deliverables. I mean, the final one should include everything. It should have your problem statement, data resources, you should describe your data. You need to do a literature review to see if you can find a gap so that you want to address it. Research questions, you need to have some descriptive statistics and visualization that you learn through Tableau and Power BI. The last part is either prescriptive or predictive. So you either prescribe a solution or predict something. So, and by second deliverable, you already on the learn predictive section. So I assume most of the project is in the predictive mode. So, and at then you have a presentation. It's either in class or if you don't have time, so it would be through YouTube. So you send me YouTube. Okay, let's see if people over Zoom have if they have a question. I think most of you are through Zoom, so I wait 1 or 2 minutes to see if they have questions. Then I go to the next section. Yeah, it's good to take a picture, but I already put it on your Moodle, so you don't have to take picture from the board. But if you want more, you're more than welcome.
Professor,
Yes.
can we have a sample of the project, like anything done by the previous semester, so that we can just have a look and get an idea of how to proceed?
Okay, let me look at the previous year's project. I post one sample for you guys. But it's pretty much like other courses. So whatever you submit in other courses could be very similar to this one. Yeah, sure, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so that we are on the right path.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Also, if talk about Informs, it's a really good institution to be a part of. Let me just go to the calendar. I think if your major is analytics, you should be a member of Informs. So they cover Informs annual meeting, business analytics conferences, either in the US or international. For example, this year in October, there is an annual meeting. So let's look at the, sponsors. So as you see, big companies and universities come to hire. So like Facebook is coming to the conference. If you want to go PhD, some good universities like Southern California, MIT, all of them come. Groovy is a good a company is focused on prescriptive analytics. IBM, SAS, those big companies come. So either you are looking for PhD programs or job market, this is a really good institution to be a part of. Even I think 2 years ago, I saw some Chinese company came to US and hired Chinese students through the Informs conference. That was really cool. So I think the student membership is just $50 and they give you so many updates, either in the job market or new technologies. This is a really good one to be a part of. I covered. So, okay, last class we have some feelings of Tableau. I just want you guys not to be afraid. I think just one figure I didn't have time to go over, which is I think it was the last one. So it's just a tree chart. So, I mean, it looks silly. It doesn't look like a tree, but since it has so many branches inside the figure, they call it tree chart. So easy to create. I mean, let me just replicate the last one. So I covered all the figures. So let's need to make a new one. Says, I think one was for shape, and the one for color. Then we have dates. So here, and I think it should have one more for the sale price. So, okay, these are labels. So, again, the point is not knowing too many figures or using too many of them. It's just being to have a good story. Having said that, I mean, the largest sale was in like last quarter of 2012. And as you see, usually most of your sales in the last quarter, like one is could be for people want to buy so many things before the Christmas or Black Friday. So I think drop another sale and I change it to label so you can see the price. The cool thing about Tableau, you don't need to even think which kind of figure you want. You just drag and drop and just has an internal intelligence to guess what you want. So sometimes you should play with that. I think for origin, it should be super. You do it almost every day, right? Something similar.
Where do you get the year from?
Huh?
Year, where did I drop it from?
Okay, so it was like something like this. I took the order date and dropped it here.
Oh.
So first is year, then there's a plus sign next to year. I just click on it. Now I have quarter. Again, I click on quarter, month. And first it just use its data, but I don't see the month and year and those kind of things. So for seeing that, I should change them from details to labels. So next to each date, like year, quarter, month, I click on these dots and change it to label. So now I see the label. Okay, in the next classes, we have some more intuitive way of learning. We go over some storytelling that makes more sense. Okay, let's review some type of figures. I think it's very obvious for you. You already had in many statistical courses or even high school. So scatter plot usually is for showing some relationship between two values, X and Y. So for example, month and sale. So, or maybe amount of sugar sale versus coffee sale, or milk versus coffee. So they go together. Line chart also is more abstract way of a scatter plot. So in a scatter plot, you see all the relation between X and Y, but you can summarize it through a line chart. It's just average of them. But one important thing is just saying the story. Based on this figure, as there is no Tableau in it, just somebody draw by hand. So hopefully it's not true, but based on this figure, it seems people suffer a lot in the college. I'm not sure how boring his class is, but
Did you make this chart, Professor?
somebody did. I just use it. It looks funny, so. Okay, can you look at this silly figure and explain what you can understand from this figure? What story you see?
As Valentine's Day comes closer, people set the seat goes down, and the alcohol intake of people has simply go up.
I mean, maybe it's for single people during COVID. So, but for alcohol use, I think maybe they think of maybe spending a lot of money for Valentine's Day or not. Maybe they should decide. So, hopefully it's not true. Also, this is another interesting figure about the unemployment rate in the Europe. Which kind of interesting for me because in 2008 we have a economic crash almost in the whole planet. Intuitively, after 2008, which the economy was improving, still we have a lot of unemployment. I mean, still unemployment increases in so many countries. For Greece and Spain, almost half of people got unemployed. That's really bad. So maybe many companies were scared to hire people, but they just saw a crash. So for avoiding the continuity of the bad economy, maybe they try to fire people. So they could have like more chance of survival. Oh, what happened? Can anyone explain this figure? So as you see, in August, we have more visa waiting time. However, maybe in October or November is much lower. So, and I think you went through wait time for coming to US. Many of you are international students. So, can you find the reason? What you guess? No, it's way before COVID, 2014 and 15, 2014 and 2000. Maybe. Yeah, might be the reason. So maybe if you are managing airport, maybe in August you think of. Yeah, it's way before that. Yeah, as your friend said, maybe in August, I mean, in the mid-August, you have so many international students coming. And what you can do, maybe, I mean, if you are working, you are managing the airport, maybe you can do some, here you do predictive analytics, you can predict something future. Also, you can do prescriptive analytics and maybe change your workers shift and put some people for checking the visa, so you can reduce the passport wait time. That is really interesting. So this is like last 11,000 years of human history. As you see, almost up to 2,000 years ago, the population didn't change too much. So from 11,000 years ago or 9,000 BC, so we have 2,000 after Christ. So from that year up to like 2000 AC, almost population didn't change. So, but suddenly there's a huge spike in the population. In the last almost 1,000 years, just maybe got 10 times or like 20 times more. So can you look at this figure and give me a story? What happened?
Medical science, quality of living improves, there's less mortality.
Yeah, you are just generally saying that, but what can you see from this information of this figure? But you are saying something true, but I'm just saying storytelling based on the information that you see here.
Because of the industry innovation and the find of the electricity and the import of there. Other such as electricity. So their creativity have a great change of innovation.
Yeah, your friends talking about this part about industrial revolution. So as you see, you look at this part. After this point, suddenly we see a lot of increase in the population. I mean, healthcare is almost in the last part. Also, second agricultural revolution and industrial engineering might both contribute. So, I mean, our ancestors be able to feed more people, so more people. Although, I mean, intuitively, as your friends say, healthcare was really important, but I'm not sure if you get importance of healthcare from this figure or not. It's very hard to say. So you see penicillin and DNA, those kind of things, but this figure is not that much informative.
In the industrial revolution and everything meant more transportation, so greater access you could reach to that meant knowledge and sharing of knowledge.
Yeah, that could be, yeah. But I mean, the point is you should look at the information that figure gives you and makes your story on top of the information that you. So these are some part of your final evaluation that you make some figures and you should be able to explain them and provide some good stories. So you can use it for before after studies. So this is like some employee feedbacks, but they just want to see what happened 2 different years in terms of some satisfaction, leadership quality, performance of manager, those kind of things. So you can also use it for before after studies. So you can look at distribution of products. So this is similar to Arjun's questions. Hopefully I answered your question, but you think if I didn't post over Telegram or ask me, so you can come to my office always. But if you think you have more questions, I mean you guys also, if you have questions, you can post over Telegram. So if you post over Telegram, you get a bonus. If your friends answer the questions, they get bonus too. So don't keep your questions. But as I said, I mean I have some knowledge in Tableau, but I'm not a Tableau expert. So if I couldn't find your answer, I try to ask my colleague. Hopefully we end up answering your questions. So again, these are for finding distribution of cell performance. This kind of stack bar chart. Heat maps also very useful. Just assume instead of this heat map, which you learn it later, but you have I think you could have 4 big tables with information of each year. It's very hard to do comparison. But here you can easily understand consumer furniture in 2012, we have a really bad performance. 2013 for home offices and 2014. Let's say you are in the marketing department, maybe you try to do some ads on home office furniture to try to boost their sale performance, or maybe you discontinue some sections because you cannot have that much of importance. So this is like mostly from ArcGIS. On top of Tableau, there's some other cool softwares like ArcGIS. This is totally different type of visualizations, but I'm just saying that it's very useful in other majors. So this is also a good one. Antiviral prescription per person. As you see in December, we have a ton of antibiotic prescription, most likely because of flu. In some cities, they have there is a good performance. Checking in London is green even in December, but it seems some other part of the country they have a huge spike of flu. You can make something similar. This also ArcGIS can give you something similar to this kind of thing. Questions. Okay. Again, there is another point. Don't just throw, drag and drop some numbers, especially in Tableau. As you see, it's not that much of a thing. You can just drag, drop. So it's actually one way. Try to make so many random figures and find the issues, but the best way is just trying to see what kind of questions you want to solve. If it's related to sales and you want to focus on the sales, see how's your performance. Maybe you might think of, okay, sales per region, sales per year, or month, day, sales per subcategory. So if your question is about the performance of your sales, maybe you focus on that point instead of just randomly dragging, dropping some figures. So late in the next classes, we have more experiences. You might see that Tableau is not that much difficult. You can make even dashboard much easier than what you think. Okay, can anyone tell a story about this figure? So probably somebody paid Facebook and get the people's information because it's the way that Facebook works. So you make profiles for free, but they sell your information to people. So
yeah, somewhere around February, getting to March, there's like so much status updates about spring break and spring cleaning, people getting ready for the next season.
So why do you think there's so much of breakups in February, near February, March?
After Valentine's.
Yes, it's still near Valentine's Day. People makes a lot of decisions, hard decisions. So why in August and September and October is very low? Can anyone guess? Or just has some hypothesis?
Start of school year.
It's still people are really busy and they are not that much in emotions. Also near before Christmas, it seems a lot of breakups. I don't know why. Can you guess what happens here? Why there's so much of breakups here? It seems, it says financial matters like have a big role, but after like December, early in the December, there's a huge drop, or in the January, it seems it's very low in the January too. So this is actually a really cool visualization. I don't think they made it through Tableau. Even with PowerPoint, you can make something similar. So that's like different problems that could happen to NFL players. But the NFL is not very big in here. In the usual south of the United States is very big. So if you have some friends in the southern schools, southern states, even sometimes they close the school just for games. So it's a very big thing in the south. Here, maybe hockey, ice hockey is a big thing here also. Some state basketball or some other indoor activities are much more here. But I will use some of the data from Super Data Science website. So if you have a lot of time, or sorry, if you have enough time, so look over this link and see the data samples that they have. I use some of them for the next classes. Also, I just forgot, similar to other some Microsoft programs, we have some toolbar. It's pretty much similar. You do copy, paste, undo. I think it's pretty much known for you, but we cover some of them in our next classes. I think I talk about this one. Okay, for the next class, next week, I mean September 6th, I mean after Labor Day. So look over chapter 2 and just read SiriusXM opening WigNet. Also, there's an optional reading of this paper. So you can go by Google Scholar or just ask from university if it's not accessible, especially for Zoom. I'm not sure if they're out of the United States, if they have access to this paper, but this is optional. You don't have to study.